It's a new day in the neighborhood. As you can see, I've got the compressor sawed off the base and hung the engine up and sprayed it down with this cred cutter last night, and we'll get it outside and pressure wash it, and hopefully that flywheel down there will clean up. Otherwise I'm going to have to take it off, and it's got a tapered shaft on it. I'm sure it's going to be a real hemorrhoid to get off. But when I got the compressor off of there, one of the stanchions was broke off. And of course there was a piece broke off in the engine sump. So if you got something like that, these deals, which I've had for 30 years, work great for extracting those. Now I've been kind of working on the base plate here, and it's all bent up. It just barely fits in my press. I may have to take these legs off to get more room to straighten it out. But at one point it had something around this edge to reinforce it, which has been cut off. And I don't know quite what that was, but it's going to make it real hard to straighten that and these plates that are welded on under here. Now it looks to me like it was built with these plates on the bottom of it, and why they welded them on, I have no idea, because the plates on the other engine have a bolt hole in them and looks like they're supposed to bolt right on. So once I find my duct tape, I'm going to seal up this engine and get outside and let her have it with the pressure washer. More as it occurs. Well, it's a half hour later. A lot of pressure washing has occurred. I think I've got the fan and flywheel clean enough that I'm not going to chance taking it off and breaking something I can't replace. So we'll let it dry overnight, spray it with some etching primer, not etching primer, but zinc chromate, and let that dry, and then we'll put color on it. And somebody that's really sharp is going to ask me why there's a hydraulic pump mounted where the magneto goes. Well, it happens to be the power steering pump off that M1078 right there, and it was a perfect fit to keep the water out of it. So why not? So I'll get it back in the shop, get it hung up, blow it off, and hang it under the ceiling fan, and probably tomorrow we'll slop paint on it. Next time. Been busy cleaning and priming, and today is paint day. Okay, well, I think we've got this part pretty much finished. I had a little oil leak from this bolt hole, which goes right through the rocker shaft, and it was drooling out this end. So I slid it out of there, filled it up with anaerobic sealer. We'll see how it does. Now the next project is the base. I don't really think this base belonged to it. I really don't know. But the hole in the bottom looks a little odd to me. And of course they welded all this junk on too, which is going to make it real tough to straighten. So to get it into my press, I have to cut these legs off. And I kind of like it because it makes it real easy to pick up with the forklift. So that's where we are now. With the legs on it, I can't get it into my press. I had the mufflers all fitted. I made these plates and tapped them out with a 3/4 inch pipe tap. And of course the elbows go down further than that. So I ground a notch in them and tack welded them. Tack welded the muffler in here. And then went in on a big belt sander and ground them flat again. So I made gaskets out of these, out of header material. Got them all pointed away from me, so I can pretty much get to everything. I got the ID plate riveted back on. If anybody knows how to restore these instruction plates, I'd be glad to hear from it. So that's where we are today. And of course I've scratched it up a bit trying to get the screen back under it. So I've got some touch up to do. I put these on with studs in hopes that these flanges live. Hopefully it won't get tipped over and dropped. Got my new spark plug boots on. So the only other issue I had was my fuel separator here dripped a little bit and lifted some paint, so I got to touch that up too. Hopefully the paint won't do that after it fully cures. It's been on there for, oh, what's today? Tuesday? I painted it Sunday, so it's still pretty green. We'll see how it goes. More as it occurs. Well, I think I've got this thing looking pretty flat. We'll give it a bath and run it through the sandblaster and see what it looks like.